Hey there, everybody. I'm CCB Dolan here with Apathetic Brent, bringing you Late Night Alliance versus Exodus, another one of our winners bracket matches. And this bracket match has both flagships on field. We have the Armageddon, flown by Zebus for Exodus, is their flagship, and we have the Balgorn flown by Bahamut 420 for Late Night Alliance as their flagship as well. Really strong warpins from Late Night and Exodus, well, particularly for Exodus, trying to stay away from this really, really strong officer, potentially Balgorn webs and Vindicator damage.
Yeah, it comes down to the same thing for Exodus. To drop drones, kite as long as you can, try to kill something in the process. It's really going to be a difficult match for them, but they can do this. They can pull this out, and I hope they do, because they're good friends of mine on TQ.
Well, of course, we see the standard damp war starting off. Both Mauls being damped off straight away, trying to keep them from getting locks, but it looks like they've made their locks anyway. It's all going to be a positioning game.
Target Painter goes on to Kestrel of Blautok, and he immediately drops due to the Sentry Drone DPS of the 3 Armageddons. And Curses down. They're doing a great job of being able to knock down their support quickly. Heavy Newt goes on to the Vindicator of T. Earl Grey Hot, which again is a series of events, not a person. Here comes
primary on the Kestrel. The Kestrel is probably going to drop. You can see now not catching reps just yet. There he goes. The other volley taking him out. Really strong support snipes from Exodus.
Absolutely. They're one-shotting just about everything on grid.
That's the power of those sentry drones. Vindicator is so limited in range. Sentry drones and just sort of all drone DPS so variable. Tristan now the primary. And no damage has come across onto Exodus yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a kind of a point of view on the chase as it stands now. And it looks like the Vindicators are about 20 to 30K away from all of these Armageddons right now. It's going to be hard for them to get in, though, because they're going to get heavy neuted like crazy as soon as they get in newt range.
Absolutely. But the thing is, Late Night Alliance is going to be a position where basically only their battleship and links and logistics will be left. Ooh, the Oneros gets tackled right there. Let's see if Exodus can start applying some damage to that as well.
My guess is that is their back end. That's the support of Exodus, holding the Oneros away from the fight and trying to get it damped down, but there it goes. The web goes off of the Oneros, so we'll see where it goes from there.
Absolutely, and it's actually repping this Tristan now. The Tristan almost lost there. Now switching to the other Tristan. We'll see if he can switch reps in time.
Really odd move. Okay, so the Armageddons just completely took a nosedive down and right. One of them, Sturm Gewehr, getting webbed in the process, but I'm guessing they were getting really close to the boundary, and they were unable to keep kiting in one direction. So when they turned, there was a web applied, but it is now off. So they're free to kite for a while again, as long as... The issue is they don't get the drone range bonus that the Dominixes do, so they might be out. The Vindicators and the Balgorn might now be out of damage range of those sentry drones.
Yeah, Sturm Gewehr is still taking a pounding, not catching any reps just yet, and there are no E-War on the Oneros for Exodus. Vindicator, now the primary for the Late Night Alliance team, choosing to avoid Bahamut's 420's flagship Balgorn, just as Late Night Alliance chooses to avoid the flagship Armageddon of Zebos.
Well, thankfully, Sturm Gewehr is pretty used to catching a pounding, so he is living through this, and he no longer has a web on him, and he does look like he's burning for freedom right now. Meanwhile, the Vindicator of T. Earl Grey Hot is tackled, neuted, target painted, and taking loads of damage.
It looks like that might potentially be Imperial newts or maybe even officer newts from that flagship Geddon. And without the Balgorn supporting, like the Balgorn's just throwing newts back on another Geddon that's not even the flagship Geddon. He needs to shut off those officer faction newts ASAP.
Right. We're about to lose the Vindicator of Teal Earl Grey Hot. I'm going to say that name like 20 times before he finally dies. But the Vindicator's about to drop. Meanwhile, Sturm Gewehr, since he is so resilient to poundings, he is still alive. So as long as he lasts past that Vindicator, I think that we'll be just fine.
Yeah, we can see here T. Earl Grey Hot deep into structure. He's going to go down, and with only 2 Vindicators left on the field, Exodus potentially walks out of this match without dropping a single ship. Sturm Gewehr is catching reps now. He potentially is going to, with that DPS of the Vindicator off the field, is going to do just fine. And there's been no newt effects really on this Exodus team from a flagship Balgorn.
Yeah. This is just really good module management that they've had to do here. That, and you figure they've got at least, my guess would be that they have a conservative 6 heavy newts in comparison to just the 3 or 4 if they're going real newt heavy on that Balgorn. So they do have a chance to cycle their newts better to where that Balgorn will more than likely almost always be out of cap. Sturmgewehr still holding. The Vindicator of Grim Reaper 1988 is dropping pretty steadily here, and the Oneros is not being that effective.
Yep, this is when you know a match is pretty much done. When reps are going down and the other team is just pounding directly through those reps with raw DPS.
Yep.
If your logistics can't do anything, then you've wasted, in this setup, potentially 26 points trying to just have the links and reps to keep something up, and it's not working.
Yep. Well, we'll see how long the Balgorn takes to go down. Sturmgewehr is actually in pretty low armor. He does have a propensity to intentionally die in tournament matches once they're won, so we'll see if that's the case here. Same time, Grim Reaper's Vindicator is in middling in structure and will die soon.
That's Grim Reaper from 1988's Vindicator just dropping. I think Late Night Alliance might potentially lose their flagship in this match.
More than likely, 4 minutes remaining. He's neuted. He's scrammed. Exodus hasn't lost a single ship. I mean, they've got a fantastic tournament team this year.
I've kept my eye on local here. Maybe we'll see some. Please God, I'll pay you $5 billion to leave our flagship alive.
We do have it up on the second monitor.
I do not think that the kind-hearted Exodus team will allow that Balgorn to survive.
I highly doubt that they'll go to that measure.
Yeah, so we see here just the standard cleanup, everything neuted, everything tackled, everything webbed. So we're just going to have to see the Bahamut 420 getting cleaned up off the field here, and that's going to be an expensive loss mail.
Lots of good fight, no hands, all that type of stuff in local, as you would expect out of two pretty classy teams. But Exodus takes this one flawlessly.
Yep, absolutely. Really, really strong performance from Exodus. I think they can brawl up there with some of the very best teams left in the winner's bracket.
Oh, I do too.
So why don't we talk about some of the matches we have coming up? We have some really, really look forward to matches. So
up next is Darkside versus Hydra Reloaded. Hydra Reloaded and Darkside have never met in a tournament before, so this is going to be fireworks. I would expect to see both teams bring out their best setups that they have, and then after that we've got, I'm not sure.
We have Pandemic Legion versus the Initiative.
Yeah, Pandemic Legion versus the Initiative. So these next two matches are going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. Some of our best teams. Some of pretty much the all-stars of Alliance Tournament history, Pandemic Legion and Hydra, both in separate matches, but potentially, if they both win their matches, advancing further and maybe meeting later on in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, well, I believe the way it works is after this, the winner of Darkside versus Hydra will face the winner of the Initiative versus PL. So we could see Hydra or Darkside against PL in the next round if those teams win.
I'm actually going to use the magic of technology. You can actually go to community.eveonline.com and check out some of our tournament brackets, all the details you could ever want. And it will actually be the winner of Hydra versus Darkside and the Initiative versus Pandemic Legion will fight each other next weekend for one of the classic rematches of Alliance Tournament history.
Yes.
So we just see here the final prophecy of 420 Killer being cleaned up off the field, about to tip into structure, and that's going to end a perfect victory for the Exodus team, moving on in the winner's bracket, and unfortunately Late Night Alliance is dropping down to the loser's bracket. Exodus going to face the Ronin next weekend.
Yes.
We're going to throw it back to CCP Soundwave and the guys in the studio.